Hi, I'm Jason Sterling. I'm a member of the EA Creator Network, and this is live stream number 4, the edited version of live stream number 4 of the Great Geyser Wilderness Lodge that I'm building in advance for the Adventure Awaits expansion pack coming up in maybe a couple of weeks now, maybe like 10 days or so, 12 days or so. Now, on this fourth iteration here, this fourth stream, this is the fourth and last stream until the pack gets here when I'll finish this particular build off. We're going to focus on landscaping a lot. We're also, though, going to focus on some exterior dining. That's what we're starting on here. This is an exterior dining section for our food court. Now, we're going to do a standard sort of deck dining area with tables and chairs. But what I really wanted to do, and what my big focus here is an outdoor picnic area. So at the food court, if we're going to use our imagination, right? We could buy maybe the picnic package, which would include maybe even a blanket and a picnic basket and all that sort of stuff. And you go outside and you have a picnic over by this sort of creek, a man-made creek, a built creek. It's going to have a, waterfall and trees and shade and vegetation and all that sort of stuff. So that's the idea up front here first. Now, I'll back out through part of this and just kind of pop back on as there's something to say in regard to the build that's being done. Like I said, we're going to do landscaping here. This is the first part. This is dining, indoor, outdoor, and picnic. Now, during the live stream, I talked a lot about Johnny Appleseed. There's a statue of Johnny Appleseed in my hometown where I live here in Oklahoma. And so I thought, hey, let's put a statue in kind of this blank space here by the tree. And that's what I did. And this is, or more accurately was, Johnny Minorseed. And unfortunately, he was the first person here to Yellowstone National Park. He came west in search of gold. Unfortunately, Yellowstone National Park is built on top of a volcano. So instead of gold, all he found was a lava vein, and he died tragically. However, his spirit of frontierism and the good old American know-how lives on in his myth today. And so we've put a statue here, kind of like a little park mascot, right? Do not dig for gold at Yellowstone. You're going to just fall into a hole of boiling water or something and die. After that, more landscaping. Of course, we pay particular attention to the entrance to the hotel, the front of the hotel. Then we move on to our guest rooms on the first floor, our guest wing over there. We're going to build a creek outside those rooms and a sort of forested area. And that's what's coming up with this next section. A quick little mention here while I was going through Debug looking for things. I found these little guys. I forgot about them. I forgot about them from, Horse Ranch. My favorite thing in Horse Ranch, these little sheep and little goats. So I do have this idea of maybe putting in a sort of petting zoo for the kids. So I threw a few of them out there on the ground so I won't forget. I decided to do a little bit more structural work inside the food court. I put in some stations for drinks. We don't have a soda fountain, of course, so I just put in a couple of trays. Lemonade, hot chocolate. Hot chocolate, of course, because it's the American North, and even in the summer, it's cold up there. And then a couple of stations designed for the idea of where you'd get, paper plates and silverware and napkins and stuff like that. That's off to the sides. So that's kind of what's going on here. And then we're going to throw some tables into this space just as placeholders to kind of mark. In fact, all the tables you see outside as well, those are really just placeholders. We're going to wait and see what we get with the new pack. We might swap those out. And coming up, you're going to see the same thing, sort of placeholders here in the food court that will just represent where we're going to put what we're ultimately going to use. Now, if there's nothing really that great in the new pack, I might use these tables. I like the little tablecloth thing. It's kind of elegant, right? It gives a nice little feel here at a resort, especially in a food court. I mean, we kind of really upscaled that food court, right? So I would keep those if we end up not getting anything better, in quotes. We go to work for a little bit here on the outside. I'm going to throw in our yoga area in a little bit, along with a lot more landscape. Ultimately, I decide to extend our creek running from the front of the building off to the side of the building where it'll terminate in a sort of larger pond. We don't have a lot of space, so we're going to call this a larger pond. I'm going to put some ducks there. Again, be really cute. I think I might put the petting zoo there behind the outdoor movie theater. So, you know, that would tie in a little bit with the animal theme to have the sort of little petting zoo. Then have these sort of ducks. You could go over here and maybe feed the ducks or watch them or whatever it is you do with ducks. Here in my area, we feed them bread, feed them popcorn or something. I don't know. I feel like you could use popcorn at the zoo. Is that why I'm thinking popcorn? Like at the local zoo, maybe you could buy popcorn to feed them. Maybe, well, no, you know, I think it was some kind of kibble stuff. Some sort of kibble stuff, maybe. Maybe that was for fish. I don't know. Anyway, feed the ducks and feed the little goats and sheep. With that, we're coming to the end of this particular edit. Please hit like, subscribe, and notify. Of course, this will be the last live stream and the last live stream edit until the pack arrives when we'll finish off our great Geyser Wilderness Lodge here. I really like this build. I'm really excited to test it out in gameplay coming up. And again, until that time, please hit like, subscribe, and notify. And as always, thanks for watching.